Hey, welcome. Let's talk about a feeling I think a lot of us know all too well. It's that kind of exhaustion, the deep, bone-tired feeling that a good night's sleep just can't seem to touch. Today, we're going to dive into this idea that maybe, just maybe, this isn't some personal failure. What if it's actually a feature of the world we're living in? And, more importantly, what if we can start to engineer our way out of it? If that quote hits home for you, then you're absolutely in the right place. That feeling of being constantly busy, but somehow absent from your own life, of being perpetually drained, that's a shared experience, and it's really the starting point for everything we're about to unpack. So let's get into it and explore the unseen forces that are making us feel this way. So, first things first, we've got to understand what's really going on. What's the root cause of this modern exhaustion? The core idea we're exploring is actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. The problem isn't you. It's the environment you have to navigate every single day. For so long, right, we've been told that if we're burnt out, it's our own fault. We lack discipline, we need better time management. But what if your fatigue is actually the most rational response you could have? What if it's a sign that you're a healthy person reacting to a system that's just fundamentally mismatched with our basic biological needs? Okay, so how does the system actually work? The material we're pulling from today calls it the architecture of the lie. And that sounds dramatic, I know, but it's not just about, misleading ads on TV. It's talking about a much deeper, more structural operation that's designed to literally alter our reality. So the advertising lie, again, it's not just about ads. It's really a kind of sophisticated engineering operation. The whole goal is to overwrite your own internal sense of what you need, what you want, and what's important, all for one main purpose, something called metabolic extraction. So what in the world is metabolic extraction? Well, think of your attention for a second. Don't think of it as some abstract thing. Think of it as a real, finite, biological resource, like calories or water. You only have so much of it, and every single moment your attention is captured without your real consent, your energy is literally being transferred from you to some external system. So, how do you know if your energy is being, overdrawn? This list of red flags makes it really concrete. Do any of these feel familiar? That feeling that everything is urgent, but somehow nothing feels meaningful? Or just scrolling without even really choosing to do it? These aren't signs of weakness, they're symptoms. They're indicators that your metabolic energy is being pulled from you. And it's not just our energy, it's our time too. But it's not being stolen in the way we usually think. This concept, standardized time theft, is fascinating. The idea is that the system doesn't even need to steal entire hours from you. All it has to do is shred your time into these tiny, useless fragments with constant micro-interruptions. It steals the continuity of your time. And this comparison just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have usable, uninterrupted blocks of time. That's what you need for deep work, for real connection, for genuine rest. And on the other side, you have the fragmented time most of us live in. It's just a confetti of moments, and it leads straight to fatigue and confusion, even when we're technically off the clock. Okay, so that was the diagnosis. And I know, it's a little bleak. But this is where we pivot to this solution. This next section is all about a really powerful framework for taking back control, and it's called substrate sovereignty. Substrate sovereignty, it's not about running away to a cabin in the woods and disconnecting from everything. It's an engineering state. It's about building a kind of structural independence for yourself within modern society. It's a state where you, not some app, not some algorithm, have authoritative control over your own time, attention, and energy. So, what are we actually trying to protect here? Well, it boils down to these three core assets. First, standardized time, those big, juicy, usable blocks of time we just talked about. Second, internal signal integrity. That's your ability to actually hear your own needs above all the external noise. And third, a metabolic surplus. That's the extra energy you need beyond just surviving. The energy for creativity, for caring about things, for real connection. All right, so now we get to the really practical part. How do we actually build this sovereignty? This section is all about the toolkit. We're moving from the what to the how. And here is the most crucial shift in thinking. You don't fight an engineered system with more willpower. You just can't win that way. You fight it with better engineering. The goal is to design boundaries that protect you automatically, by default, so you're not burning all your energy just trying to hold the line. So what does this boundary engineering look like in practice? Well, it's basically a three-step process. First, signal gating. You become the bouncer for all incoming information. Is it crucial for survival? Is it something you chose for a specific purpose? If not, it's noise and you reject it by default. Second, time boxing. You fiercely protect those blocks of time. No notifications during meals, rest, or conversation. And third, attention throttling. You learn to recognize those warning signs, the irritability, the compulsive checking, and you immediately disengage to get grounded again.
But let's be real, trying to engineer all these boundaries by yourself is incredibly hard. That's where community comes in, acting as a kind of structural shield. And there's a huge difference between a network and a community. Networks often just amplify all the noise that helps the extraction. But a true community, that stabilizes meaning. It helps you remember what's important, and it makes everyone inside it more resilient. It makes you feel safe, not just connected.
This leads to one of the most powerful ideas in this whole framework, the ethics of refusal. In a system that basically profits from your exhaustion, choosing to disengage isn't lazy. It's a moral act. It's not a loud protest. It's a quiet decision to stop funding that system with your own life force. So what's the end game here? If you do this work, what does it actually feel like to live this way? Well, it's not about becoming some hyperproductive superhuman. It's actually something much quieter and way more profound. So what does this recovered state actually feel like? Well, it's not about doing more. It's about a decrease in that frantic, compulsive urgency. It's being able to just sit in silence. It's acting more slowly, but with more clarity and purpose. You actually become more present. You care more deeply, but about fewer things. And ultimately, you just feel harder to manipulate. That's not failure. That is what recovery looks and feels like. And this is the final insight that really brings it all home. The system we're in can actually take our outrage and our anger and turn it into more engagement, which just feeds the whole extraction loop. Real power, then, isn't in reacting angrily. It's in refusing to play. It comes from that quiet, sovereign decision to simply stop feeding the systems that are designed to consume.